This is an important day, and I think it's fair to say it may be a watershed day. We'll see. Time will tell. And I think most of you know, at least I hope all of you know, I'm not one to ever blow my own horn, pat myself on the back. I don't do that. All I try to do is reflect reality your way so you can see it and you can decide what works for you. Well, today, Alex Jones issued a video. It's about 10 minutes long. I put it up at the top of headlines. And the title says, "As Rense has said since Trump's first full day in office." And I think many of you know this is 100% true. Jones finally admits Trump lies and has betrayed us. And I must give credit where credit's due. He's 2 years too late, but he did it. He doesn't mince words. During our next hour tonight, Joel Skousen will join us. I'll probably play the 10 minutes then, but I didn't want to spring this on Bill Gheen, who is up first tonight. But let's look at this for what it is. Donald J. Trump is a fraud. He's a liar. He is a betrayer. He has cut all of our throats who supported him during the year-and-a-half primary and voted for him. It's time to pay the piper, Donald. It's time to admit that Jerry Kushner, AIPAC, Princess Ivanka, and international Zionism run your operation. You are a fat orange poodle on a leash. That's all you are. Or you would have started on the first day in office, not lying, by increasing the number of troops you were sending to Europe instead of decreasing them as you promised you would, by pulling back tanks and armor from Europe as you promised you would, not sending more over there. You lied. And I started right then and there calling you a liar. A lie is a lie is a lie. Bill Gheen is back tonight. Bill, of course, is the man who created the most important political action committee in America, AIPAC. He is, you know who he is, and I'm glad to have him back this evening. Hello, Bill. Welcome.
Hey, Jeff. The first thing I want to do is give a big shout-out and thank you to all of the Rense radio listeners and Rense.com readers out there that have been calling Congress with us over the last 2 days to fight the new amnesty bill. There's a lot of folks in your network, Rense, Jeff, that have been on board for a while now, but a lot of people have joined our email alerts in the last month or so. We've been doing these shows, and a lot of those people are donating, they are volunteering, and they are deployed today, and I just can't say how thankful I am for everybody that's helping to fight back right now.
That's wonderful news. This is the best audience in talk radio, and I'm not putting anybody else down. This just is the best audience. You people are the smartest, most fair-minded, intelligent, wise group, informed group in the world. And a lot of you are around the world. Yeah.
Accurately informed. That's one of the things I think that has prepared your audience to be ready for this fight. They have been accurately informed over an extended period of time, Jeff, and they're ready to go. Great to hear about the Alex Jones video. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll go to Rense.com and check that out. I think we had discussed him before, and I told you I had sensed some changes there. There's some other names I want to mention because one of the things we need people doing right now is applying pressure through friendly, supportive, encouraging tweets, Facebook messages if Facebook comes back up sometime, emails and phone calls, especially phone calls to talk radio shows, including ones that I don't list here. But there's some very important people and sites that are not holding Trump accountable fully yet, that are starting to change, but they need encouragement.
Right.
And one of the most important ones is drudgereport.com, Matt Drudge. I don't have Matt Drudge's email, but there's a communication box at drudgereport.com. I'm very thankful that he posted a very important and powerful article today titled Ann Coulter challenges Trump to give precise latitude and longitude of wall he's built so she can throw a party there, after President calls her a wacky nut job for questioning if he has put up any new barriers at all.
That's Bill, there have been no major pieces of anything built anywhere along that border. He has rehabilitated some of the old structures, that's a given, but there's nothing new. It's a lie.
Well, Ann Coulter is taking him to task for it, no matter what you think about it.
Oh, no, I think she's terrific. I've supported her. Oh, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people that give her a lot of guff, and I posted this article on my Facebook pages before it shut me down today, and a lot of people say really nasty, a lot of Trump supporters, and I got to tell you, there are a lot of Trump supporters right now that, you know, I had to think about this a lot today. I got involved supporting the Trump campaign because of the type of Americans that I saw responding to Trump's immigration issue messages. I got involved for them, and now I must confess, I'm seeing some Trump supporters, not all. I can't even say what particular percentage of them, but I'm seeing a lot. I'm seeing a lot of Trump supporters say real nasty things about Ann Coulter, and real nasty things about me, and real nasty things about anybody trying to tell them the truth right now. They are reacting negatively and hostilely to and tuning out, dropping off email lists, blocking people on social media, trying to stick their head in the sand, and, you know, we can't let them do that without one heck of an ear, bending, because, you know, they need to understand the truth about what's happened with Donald Trump. And we need people encouraging Matt Drudge, another publication, WorldNet Daily, Joseph Farah of WND. WorldNet Daily is not holding Trump accountable, and, you know, Breitbart is, InfoWars is, Rense.com is, Daily Caller is, but WorldNet Daily, I'm not sure what their allegiance level is here, but they are not holding.
You have to look at who owns them now, Bill. You have to look at the ownership. You have to trace it back. It's not Bill Farah anymore. They've been bought out. So.
Well, whoever's behind the scenes at WND, we need to encourage them to hold Trump accountable on this. Laura Ingraham and Tucker Carlson. Of course, Tucker Carlson is up to his neck in alligators right now with the evil smear merchants at Media Matters and others trying to take him off the air because Tucker Carlson is a truth teller. And here's another one, two important ones, and they're hard to reach, but if you can find emails or call into these shows somehow or another to reach Rush Limbaugh and Michael Savage and say, you need to start holding Donald Trump accountable for the things he's lying about on his border wall and stopping the caravans, and most importantly, his support for amnesty for illegal immigrants. I had an argument with a friend of mine the other day that worked with in politics for years. She did not want to believe that Donald Trump is supporting amnesty for illegal immigrants, and he is. This is very dangerous now that the Democrats filed just yesterday, on March 12th, they filed H.R. 6, which is the DREAM Act amnesty bill. I haven't read the details yet, and I don't know how many millions of illegals get amnesty from that bill. And a lot of people are out there saying, well, there's a lot of people that Trump has neutralized that would not be neutralized if Hillary Clinton had won, okay? I would have a much easier fight to stop amnesty if we were fighting Hillary Clinton instead of Donald Trump.
That's a very important point. Very important. Correct point.
Well, there are people out there who are supporting Trump no matter what he says or does that have been neutralized in this fight. They're not going to stand up to him. They're not going to take any action here. They're not going to donate. They're not going to volunteer. They're not going to send the message that we need to send to Donald Trump. And once again, if you can get on my email alerts at allypack.us, folks, I've got some stuff that's going to roll out. And if you are the type of person who's willing to, here's what we need: people who are willing to tell Donald Trump this. I voted for you, but I will never vote for you again, and I'm dropping my support for you if you sign any, first of all, if you sign any more bills like the February 15th budget bill that the American public is not allowed to read first, and any form of amnesty, DREAM Act, DACA, immigration reform, amnesty for illegal immigrants, I will never support you again. We need people who will tell Donald Trump this very clearly, and publicly on talk radio shows, by email, and a petition that I'm launching hopefully tomorrow, online petition that allow people to go and sign their initials and their email into to say, Well, I'll go ahead and give your audience a sneak peek here. Let me pull this up real quick. This is pre-release, and this could change depending on some of the different people who are working on this with me. But we need people who are willing to say, we, the undersigned, hereby inform President Donald J. Trump that we will no longer support or vote for him or any member of Congress who supports DREAM Act, DACA, or immigration reform amnesty for illegal immigrants, or passes
in any form,
or passes any more laws like the February 15th, 2019 budget bill, which denied U.S. citizens a chance to know what is in the bill. We defined amnesty, all capitals, amnesty, as any change in America's current law which waives current penalties such as deportation for illegal aliens, accommodates them, grants them legal status, or a pathway to citizenship and voting rights. We will not vote for or support any Democrat or Republican, including President Trump, unless they oppose, vote against, and veto any form of amnesty for illegals. And I need people who are willing to sign that petition by the thousands as soon as I can hopefully get it ready to launch. Soon. I'm having website issues and technical stuff, and if there's anybody out there who's an attorney and there's anybody out there that's really, really talented with websites, please get in touch with me through the alipac.us website, because...
Are they trying to take you down?
Well, it's not just that. It's just we're on a very shoestring budget, and on such a limited budget, our resources and people power is very limited, and shall we say, prone to mixed results and timelines compared to where we would be if we were a larger budget operation. So, we're proud of the fact we get so much done on a shoestring budget, and that we're highly efficient. But
that's you, William Gheen. That's you that gets it done. And the people who donate, you are the man. So we need to support Bill Gheen. So please, $5, $10, whatever you can afford. You've got to support alipac.us.
Thanks, Jeff. Another thing is, back to Ann Coulter. She's just put out an article today, and she's really been through the fire with Donald Trump, and their exchange over the weekend where he called her a wacky nut job, and she replied that she doesn't understand why he doesn't just ignore her like he does the rest of her base. I think Trump is really, really messing up by trying to go toe-to-toe with Ann Coulter, because you don't want to go toe-to-toe with Ann Coulter. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't back down. She's sharp as a laser.
Let me read the first part, only the first part. Go to AnnCoulter.com. It's right there, Trump by the numbers. Let me just read a few little paragraphs here.
Yes.
It is now clear that Trump isn't waiting for a better moment. This was not an anomaly. It's not an accident. After he signed his third spending bill with no wall funding, which he claims to need, all sentient beings were forced to conclude that the president has no intention of ever doing anything we wanted on immigration. In fact, Trump is steadily moving in the precise opposite direction of what he promised.
Bingo.
Illegal immigration is on track to hit the highest levels in more than a decade, and Trump has willfully decided to keep amnesty advocates Jared, Ivanka, Mick Mulvaney, Mark Short, and Mercedes Schlapp in the White House. For all his talk about immigration, did he ever consider hiring people who share his MAGA vision? A diminishing percentage of the base is annoyed when I point this out. They think that the moment something comes out of Trump's mouth, it has happened. Yes, Trump talks a good game. He's like a waiter who compliments us for ordering the hamburger, but keeps bringing us fish. The hamburger is our signature dish, juicy and grilled to perfection. You've made a brilliant choice. Now here's your salmon. If he refuses to do what we hired him to do, he's not getting a good Yelp review. I've decided to discuss the Trump presidency in purely mathematical terms. Well, it's not his fault. He's trying. Never has a president been under such attack. These are more in the nature of excuses. They are not facts. Under my new approach, I will provide a numerical evaluation of the Trump presidency, which I call Trump by the numbers. Read it. It's right there. It is inarguable. And Coulter.com. Go ahead.
Well, hey, read them some of the numbers, Jeff. I was enjoying that. You know what? I was going to do you did the same thing I was going to do, because some of the numbers.
All right.
I think your audience is going to want to hear this, because I really think this is it.
Here it is. Number of miles of wall built on our southern border since Trump has been president. 0. Number of miles of fence, bollard, or garden trellis built along our 2,000-mile border since Trump has been president. 26. Number of times Trump has claimed on Twitter he's already building the wall. 16 by my count. Number of times Trump has complained on Twitter that Congress won't give him funds to build the wall, but he says he's already building. At least 30 by my count. Number of wall prototypes destroyed by the federal government. All of them to date. All the prototypes have been destroyed. Number of executive orders ending the anchor baby scam, as Trump promises whenever an election is coming. 0. Number of executive orders issued by Trump rescinding Obama's unconstitutional amnesty for illegal alien dreamers. 0. Number of illegal aliens whose presence has been excused by Trump. 11 to 50 million, depending on whether you believe the propaganda or the facts. Number of extensions of the E-Verify system to prevent illegals from being hired over Americans. 0. Number of H-1B visa foreign workers in this country when Trump took office. I'm going to read that again. Number of H-1B foreign workers in this country when Trump took office. Approximately 1 million. Number of H-1B foreign workers in this country today. Approximately 1 million. Number of asylum loopholes closed. 0. Number of top-level administration jobs offered to immigration controllers who are not named Stephen Miller. 0. Number of top-level administration jobs offered to members of the Koch brothers' Open Borders Network. 5 that I know of. These are top-level administration jobs. Number of attorneys general trying desperately to implement Trump's immigration agenda, whom Trump mocked and forced out of office. 1. Apart from immigration, probably the single most important campaign promise Trump made was to end the carried interest loophole. Most Republicans would break out into a cold sweat if asked to raise taxes on George Soros. Finally, we had a Republican or Democrat who wasn't beholden to Wall Street. During the campaign, Trump said that this tax scam allowed hedge fund managers to, quote, get away with murder, end quote, and vowed to eliminate it. Americans who hadn't voted for 30 years said, how do I register to vote? Let's take out the slide rule. Number of carried interest loopholes eliminated by President Trump. 0. Total campaign contributions in 2016 given by Goldman Sachs to Hillary Clinton. $388,000. Total campaign contributions given by Goldman Sachs to Trump. 5,670. Or 70 times less than Goldman gave to Hillary. Number of Goldman Sachs employees put in top administration positions by President Trump. 7, or more than Presidents Bush and Obama combined. For someone unable to fulfill the most basic of his immigration promises, Trump has amazingly been competent in accomplishing the things Wall Street wanted, but no one else did. Number of actions taken to defend the free speech rights of Trump's biggest supporters, being deplatformed and censored, such as Milo Yiannopoulos, Gavin McInnes, Laura Loomer, and Alex Jones. 0.
And that's why Jones came out as strong as he did today, because all of those people who went to bat for Donald Trump are being liquidated by Silicon Valley.
Shredded.
And Donald Trump isn't lifting a finger to help those
Nothing,
people.
Nor will he. Here's the last one. Percentage of the base that Trump can afford to lose in 2020 after millions of older, whiter Americans have died off and millions of immigrants have turned 18 and begun voting? Zero. All right, this is a powerful truth, this column. It should be read by everyone. I don't care what your stripe. Try and take argument and exception to the facts.
And
there they are.
And thanks again for you reading the whole article there. If you will send me the podcast of this, I'll make sure this podcast gets loaded up on the AliPac YouTube channel, and then we distribute it because, right now, that's what the only thing that can possibly help us is truth into action, truth into power. And we cannot fly the plane, we cannot steer the vehicle, we cannot plot a course for the ship if we cannot clearly see our surroundings and what is really happening. And there was more truth in what Coulter just put out there than anything Trump said in the first 2 years in office.
Amen. We'll be right back with Bill Gheen, alipac.us, in just a minute. Okay, let's jump right back into this. This is a pivotal day. It's a big day for a number of reasons. Coulter, Alex Jones, yours truly, and Bill Gheen is here. This is it. No more fence sitting. Most of you listening, of course, long ago got off the fence. And I want to especially thank and applaud the former members of the Trump base who have had to face reality and who have been mature and wise enough to see the truth and to give it up and walk back away from it and look again, because it's a sad thing. We were all believers during the campaign to one degree or another. We've had to give that up. I gave it up long ago. Many of you are just now having to confront that. You still want to hold on. You still want to think the guy's playing 4D chess. He's not playing checkers. He's not doing anything. He's doing what he's told and loading himself up with 1 gallon of aspartame a day and junk food. It's amazing to me that an obese man can elude the Grim Reaper for as long as he had with that kind of a diet. Bill, go ahead.
Well, and we've got to radiate this outward quickly. Once again, we need people using emails, social media, calls into talk radio shows to radiate this perspective outward rapidly to other Americans who are listening and reading things as online and listening to talk radio shows, as well as to influence the host and the hostesses. A lot of what's left of real talk radio in America is very sensitive to what their listeners are really thinking about and what the pulse is, and we've got to be that pulse. At the same time, we have to organize people into calls, emails, letters, faxes, and other types of online demonstrations and possible real-world demonstrations to focus on stopping the amnesty bills in the Senate and encouraging Trump to veto any amnesty bills. And once again, if you're the type of person who supported Trump or supports Trump or want to see him win in 2020 and you're not willing to speak out or to make your support for him conditional because you fear a Democrat winning, well, you know, if he passes amnesty, that's all you're going to get for the rest of your life is Democrats winning. And it will be because you didn't stop him when you had a chance. We have to do everything within reason, within our power, to try to stop Trump from signing a DREAM Act amnesty, because let me tell you something, folks. People need to understand. They say, oh, well, it's just going to be amnesty for 1 or 2 million. Listen, if the 1 or 2, the 3 million DREAM Act DACA amnesty is signed into law, our chances of stopping the next larger comprehensive amnesty bill for more than 10 million illegal aliens is less than 5%. The DREAM Act amnesty is designed to be the point of the spear that breaks through America's armor and allows the rest of the spear or sword or whatever pointed weapon you want to consider to go right into America's heart. That's why they designed the DREAM Act amnesty after they tried to get the full amnesty through in 2006 and stop the Bush amnesties. They went back to the drawing board. They came up with the DREAM Act. They said, let's use the kids. We'll march on them with the kids. They won't be able to stop the kids, but we fought them, and then we stopped the DREAM Act amnesty in 2010. And we made Dick Durbin cry on the floor of the Senate. We stopped it again in 2012. And when we stopped the DREAM Act amnesty, their plan B or C to take over the country, Obama just made it happen. He created the DREAM Act into DACA, an illegal, unconstitutional program that puts the United States under a form of martial law. We are under, till today, under the hand of Donald J. Trump. So you have to understand, if they get to that critical domino to fall with the DREAM Act amnesty, here's the most likely chain of events. Full comprehensive immigration reform amnesty will happen. Even more illegals than are coming in now will come in. More illegals that are voting Democrat now than ever before will vote Democrat. We will have zero chance of ever electing anybody promising the things Donald Trump promised us about securing a border, building a wall, deporting illegals, ending amnesties, stopping illegals from taking jobs, stopping hyper-legal immigration level. No one that promises the American public things like this will ever be able to win again because of the number of millions of amnestied illegal immigrants putting socialist Democrat power. And if you hate, I always pronounce her name, Cortez.
Just call her Ocasio.
Ocasio. If you hate Ocasio, you need to understand, a liberal, socialist, female Hispanic, that's your future. That's the future of this country.
She's the poster girl of what they're going to ram down our throats, ladies and gentlemen.
If you look at
the video up there, it explains they even had a casting call. They had auditions for that position that she is occupying. She was selected from a large number of young women. Okay? It's all a setup. All of it.
So the DREAM Act amnesty domino falls into the immigration reform amnesty, which immigration reform amnesty, Donald Trump has tweeted he's open to passing that too. Just like Bush and Obama, he's a globalist. He's not the man he told us he was. He's not a populist. He's not a nationalist. He's not even a Republican. He's a globalist, and he is open to their plans. So the DREAM Act amnesty domino falls into the immigration reform amnesty, which gives Democrats and socialists full power. Then they move on the guns. They confiscate most guns in America, as they've done in England and Australia. And then once the American public is disarmed, the chances of
this is Europe 2.0. You watch what's happened to Europe. The same thing will happen here. That's what they want.
This is Cambodia. This is China.
There you go. Pol Pot. Okay.
The only reason that the potential does not currently exist in America for socialist and communist regimes to kill millions of our own citizens is because of the Bill of Rights protections of American citizens. Once they've taken those away, whatever happens to us next is out of our hands. So if you don't want to, and I'm not saying I know these things will happen. I just know that, what the historical precedent of socialist takeovers around the world are, and I'm seeing exactly what's happening in South Africa right now. The left is saying that America is their new South Africa. They're going to treat Americans, whether we, deserve it or not, like South Africans that engaged in apartheid. And if you look at what's happening in South Africa right now, I show videos. There's a Facebook group of people in South Africa I occasionally share with on some of my Facebook pages, and people are so puzzled. They're like, why is that group of black people pushing around these white people and the police aren't doing anything to protect them? It's like they don't realize that they're looking into South Africa where, whites are being dispossessed of their land and their property rights. And
with no compensation. Bill, excuse me. I did a program last night again with, or the night before with Karen Smith. Last night. The number of whites in South Africa is about 3.5 million total, as opposed to 45 million blacks. Those whites, the majority of them live in squatter camps. No food, no water.
On landfills.
That's right. That's right. That's our future here. Get it? That's what the socialists want.
Well, that's what they're going to get if the Dream. That's what they're 90+% likely to get if the Dream Act amnesty passes. If the Dream Act amnesty passes, I will put out a press release saying, as long as people are willing to fund me, I will continue to speak out. I will continue to fight the coming legislation and the things that are coming for us. But I will announce that I believe the critical point of no return has been passed, to where peaceful political process that I have sworn my life to are no longer going to be able to numerically save this country. Right now, I still believe, by the narrowest of margins, that it is still possible for the American people to rise up, seize control of the electoral systems and the legislative systems, and to reverse this illegal immigration bomb in our midst through peaceful and humanitarian means. I wouldn't tell people that I believe that if I didn't truly believe that. But if a day comes that I don't believe that anymore, I'm going to tell people that. And it's something I don't want to tell people that. And to be honest with you, it'll be really darn scary of what I'm saying to people with that. So, because right now I'm telling people to organize, donate, volunteer, fight back. This can still be won through peaceful processes. But if the DREAM Act passes and we're sitting here in a week or 2 weeks from now and Donald Trump has put pen to paper on the DREAM Act, we'll never get it back out of law, just like Obamacare. It doesn't matter who we elect. Once it goes in, we'll never be able to get it out. We'll have almost no chances of stopping the next larger amnesty, and after that, we'll have no chance of stopping the Democrats and the socialists and the coming gun grab through any type of political peaceful means.
No question about any word you've just said. None. Zero. We have to use every ounce of our strength now. We have to. We have no choice. And Coulter, she quoted a high-end illegal figure of 50 million. That's closer to reality than anything. It's 45 to 50 million. People don't understand that. 1 million a year are coming in here. Right?
Well, the other thing is, too, a lot of people ask why Trump does this, why Trump does that. And I tell people constantly that, while we all want to know that question, and I do believe it would be helpful if we did know the answer to those questions, whether it's Bush, Obama, or Trump, we have to weigh them based on their actions and their deeds and their words. But I'll be honest with you, after reading about the Manford verdict and some of the other things right now, I think, and if you'll notice, the investigation of Trump is getting pulled back.
What investigation? It's not even in the news anymore.
Well, they're downgrading the Mueller investigation, and Pelosi said the other day she doesn't want to impeach Trump.
No, he's not worth the effort.
Well, she does want to impeach Trump because he's not a hindrance to her agenda. I think that she knows, because she's been told by Jared Kushner, that Trump will sign her amnesty bills and a lot of other things she wants. In fact, I think one of the big dangers is right now that Trump is willing to play ball and do anything they tell him to keep his butt out of jail. That's what I think.
I think you're right, Bill. Not only that, but it is said by people who may well know that he is leveraged to the max, and they've got him by the short hairs financially. His whole empire could be crashed at any time. This man is beyond compromised. Period. That's the story.
Well, apparently Jared Kushner is underwater too, and his buildings. I haven't verified this, but I just read a report saying that his offices at 666 Fifth Avenue.
Yep.
And once again, I mean, who in their right mind, who except for some of the most evil, bottom-feeding type person would even occupy an address like that? And if you were trying to sell something like real estate or a product or run a political campaign, why in the world would you ever locate your office at a numerical location?
Only if you were a member of that persuasion.
That ties into the beast of Revelations. Why?
Mm-hmm.
There's no good positive answer for why somebody would locate their building or do business at 666 anywhere, much less in the heart of Manhattan. And this is who's running the show inside the White House. It's Jared Kushner. He is Trump's boy. He is Trump's,
No. Trump is his boy.
Well,
we got to get that straightened out. You're right, but let's be honest here. Trump is the puppet. Kushner is the puppeteer.
Well,
that's my view. AIPAC, Kushner, there you go.
I believe right now there are deals being cut to keep Trump out of jail and others, and he's telling them that he'll play ball. That's how I think they got Rupert Murdoch of Fox News to join the amnesty faction and join Michael Bloomberg at a press conference to swear his allegiance to immigration reform.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all of his legal problems and the threats of the Democrats. And so you got to hand it to the Democrats, because look at them. Just look at them go. They're willing to prosecute Trump. When they say they're going to lock him and his people up, they're doing it. They're looking to lock up Roger Stone, and they're looking to lock up. They are locking up Manafort.
Manafort,
and they're going to lock up others. Donald Trump has rallies, and we're like, lock her up, talking about Hillary Clinton. No. Obama creates DACA. He breaks the Constitution. He runs guns. He buys thousands of assault rifles and 50 caliber sniper rifles with American taxpayer funds and gives it and ships it to the Mexican cartels and gets busted using 6 different federal agencies in Operation Gunrunner, Fast and Furious, and Republicans do nothing. Nothing at all. He walks. The Democrats can do whatever they want, and the Republicans, all they do is feign opposition. They're not really opposition. They're just people that run their mouths like they're opposition, and they fail to curtail taxes. They fail to curtail the deficits. They fail to curtail the budget spending. They fail to curtail illegal immigration and anything else that the Republicans have been campaigning on, except for a couple of tax breaks here that are making our debt and deficit spiral even further out of control.
Right. Trump is going to run the deficit up. The debt will increase $4 trillion, I've been told by people, in the last 3 years of his 4-year term. $4 trillion in the last 3 years of his term. We're on track already for another trillion. What's another trillion, right? They don't care. It's a joke to them. He's going to pay. He's cutting back everywhere but the military. Military, you can't cut that back. That's the military-industrial complex. You got to feed that beast. You can make everybody else suffer, no problem. We're creating an entire underclass, bottom-end people. And I did look at a video of Ocasio the other day saying, and she was almost smirking, that there is no such thing as an upper-middle class left in America. And she has a point. She's got a point. That has been gutted.
Well, bright and early tomorrow morning, I need people to help me hit the U.S. Senate Republican offices with enough angry calls for them to believe that this is going to hurt them in the 2020 elections if they pass an amnesty at this point. We have to make the 2020 elections is what turns this amnesty push off.
Don't forget, it's also called immigration reform. You don't be tricked by that.
Well, it's going on right now, and only a large wave of Americans calling out against it. So we need people who are going to help make these calls, and use other methods, like I mentioned before, emails, social media, talk radio shows like this, and others that you can call into to get both the host and other listeners and everybody focused on stopping this. At this point, the most important thing we need to do, is stop legislative amnesty from happening. The new worse than Obamacare thing that can happen to us. It is better for Donald Trump to lose this election in 2020 than for amnesty to pass. America will be more damaged by amnesty legislation than it will be by Donald Trump losing this office.
Not even close. Couldn't be more correct.
And so we need people on my email alerts, and please try to get your friends and family members to join our email alerts. They're free, of course, and we never share your email with anyone else. We have a super strict privacy policy, and you can leave anytime that you want to. We are on Twitter, and we are on Facebook, but as people learned today, as Facebook has a function, there's so much censorship there, you can't count on them to tell you what you need to know from groups like us. So please visit our website at www.alipr.org. AliPac.us, AliPac.us. It stands for Americans for Legal Immigration Political Action Committee, and there's multiple places where you can put your email in, your first name, last name, or your nickname, or whatever you like to put in there. Just make sure the email's right. You will need to check your spam folder after you sign up just to make sure that you get the confirmation email, and then even then you're not safe. You got to watch, and you got to make sure our emails are reaching. You got to check those spam folders, and if they're not reaching us, you need to reach out to me, because they're trying to stop us from reaching you and coordinating with you in a lot of different ways. And so several times when I've put this appeal out on your show, Jeff, I've gone to look at the things, the readings later in the evening or the next morning, and seen large surges of new people signing up, and that's exactly what we need tonight. I hope people really will give it strong consideration, because we need your help.
This is not a political label partisan issue. This is a simple issue of preserving what's left of the formerly United States of America. We don't move now, we lose our country, we lose our Constitution, we lose our Bill of Rights. And I repeat, we are the only country on the face of this planet that has a First Amendment and a Bill of Rights like we have. No one else has it. It's not codified, it's not in writing, and if we lose it, don't forget, you don't use it, you lose it. We have to continually, constantly exercise our right to free speech. Because once they take that free speech away, then we become afraid to think. It becomes freedom of speech is freedom of thought. You lose one, you lose both.
Yeah, the illegal aliens and the socialists don't plan on letting us keep those.
Oh, I know. Just communists. Go to Rense, look up the little, I've said this before, it's a simple little title, Communist Goals. Do a search on Rense News, Communist Goals, and look for the one that has 22 goals on it. I've cut the list from 45 down to 22, the 22 most relevant. They were read into the congressional record in 1963. You read those, and you ask yourself how many of those have been accomplished or are still being worked on and are almost done. And it's 100%. They are done. There it is. This is communism. There's no question about it. Play the label game all you want. You don't want to live under this. This is a boot in your face forever. No more. It's got to stop.
Well, big businesses and corporations like socialism when the government forces your money to go to them. And that's what's happening with healthcare, the military, and these others. And so people are like, well, how come these corporations and the socialists are all supporting illegal immigration together? Because by taking control of the government, where their money can have the biggest influence, they can make you pay. Right now, they're forcing more people into the economic balloon bubbles by forcing you to get Obamacare insurance and things like that. They're forcing you to put more and more of your money into their failed system as they pump more people into the system around the world to prop it up, because the real estate and financial collapse and corrections that would have occurred by now are being propped up by pumping tens of millions of people into the country. Now, those corrections and collapses will still occur eventually, but now we'll have tens of millions of people who hate our guts in the country with us when the lights go out. And
as an adjunct point, don't forget, and I repeat, the Department of Homeland Security has warned America, be prepared to be without electricity for 6 months. What that means is be prepared for the end times. We lose electricity coast to coast, or most of it, for a week, and this is all going to hell. And you better be prepared now. DHS isn't joking. They put that warning out once and it went away. I never forgot it, and I won't let you forget it. Please prepare. AliPac, AliPac.us. Contact them, help them. They're your best weapon right now. Thank you, Bill, for everything.
All right, God bless.
Bill Gheen. Just, we can do it. We can make it happen. We have to. We have no choice. All right, we'll be right back.